So Sequence is an executive search and staffing firm. I'm the senior most principal. So essentially what that means is that I founded the company 20 years ago and I survived 2 retirements. So we are an executive search and staffing firm. We specialize in planning related personnel. In addition to that, we do a tremendous amount of construction engineering. In recent years, we've done an incredible amount of scientific and manufacturing related personnel too. So anything that's blue collar and dirty, I'm certainly involved in, and our company does a tremendous amount of work, and not just here in the States, but overseas. I think what makes us unique is that we do the kind of positions that you don't see on a daily basis. And we don't just do senior level personnel. I mean, I challenge all of our people in the firm to work from the most entry level all the way up to the most senior positions. Recruiters basically go out into the industry and find individuals to fill positions for companies. And our firm, as an example, Sequence, is probably one of the best known in the industry for recruiting of planners. Many people, they'll network, but they don't necessarily think about developing relationships with recruiters. And recruiters are actually a vital source of jobs. You know, many of the jobs that are online, you see them, but people don't realize that only about 70%, only about 30% of the jobs that are online are the ones that are out there. So people don't post about 70% of all jobs. So how do you get those jobs? Well, a lot of times the way to get jobs is through networking, and that's why it's so invaluable to be an APA member. I mean, I see people walking around at the conferences here. We're at the national conference today, and they'll make those connections, and that's how you get those 70% of those other jobs. And recruiters too can be a vital source for that because they're constantly filling positions. So you want to establish relationships with them as well, if you can, get out, find them, and network to them. Sure, recruiters love to talk to people, and they certainly love to link to you on LinkedIn and on social media. But recruiters, I mean, I love to talk to people. I'm a person who talks all day long. I mean, on the way over here, I'm interviewing the Uber driver in the car. So I think, though, that what you want to do is you want to try to establish a relationship with them, and the way to do that is to reach out. And if they have the time, they'll do it. Certainly, they'll be happy to talk to you about positions they have, but they'll also probably do informational interviews with you, and that can be useful. Yeah, always follow up on a resume. You know, so many of us, especially if you're from a millennial generation, we're so used to just assuming that our text message or our email went through. Being an X generation person myself, so I'm a kind of an angry Xer, they call us. Somebody who worked very hard and is now looking for the next step in their career. But I don't assume that my email was received, and I also, being a recruiter, I have the advantage of knowing things about recruiting that you don't, which is that there may be hundreds of resumes. And when you have 100 or so resumes on your desk for a position, after a while they start to blur a little bit. And what makes you stand out is maybe reaching out, following up, making a phone call. That can rise you to the top of the list. Certainly that interpersonal communication, that personal touch, is what makes people remember you. I think that professional associations like the APA are just completely very invaluable. The APA has a lot of resources as a professional organization. They have a job board that you can go to. But more importantly, I think what's unique about the APA is they have a profile system where you can upload your information here and you can create your own profile. It's almost like a living document. It's like a resume, or maybe you might liken it to a LinkedIn of APA, except that the APA one is really niche and allows you to specify your expertise. It's an invaluable resource, and I think that everybody should think about maybe utilizing it.